Hello students, I really hope that you're safe and healthy, that's first, and that e-learning is not causing you too much trouble. I just wanted to show you today in the PE lesson something about football tactics. As you see, we have a whiteboard here, but before we start, I just want to say that you don't have to do anything, you don't have to submit anything, just have a look, listen, learn something, and if you have any questions, I'm here for you. Whatever you want to know, whatever you want to ask, I will try to answer to you, because at the end of the day, maybe some of you will want to become football coaches or football players, and even as a player, if you know the basic tactics, this is going to help you to become a better player at the end of the day. So I'm going to introduce you to some of the stuff about football tactics today. Like I said, that's a really huge area, so we're just going to go through some tips and hints about one small little detail. If you're not gonna understand, if you're gonna have other questions, like I said, I'm here for you and I can always try to answer. Now, before we start with the hints and tips, let's talk about systems a little bit. I put my team here in the 4-3-3 system, which is the most commonly used, but you know that we know other systems that the teams all around the world are using. 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2, most commonly used, but there are some that are playing with only 3 defenders at the back and they have an extra midfielder or an extra attacker. It all depends on the system and then how the coach is going to put his players on the park. Now, more than a system and the positions in football, it's more important that every player knows its tasks and his job on the pitch. You can have one system, but this is not the system that works all the time on the pitch. It all depends where the ball is. Now, that's where tactics kicks in. We know 5 moments in football that determines our game. And those 5 moments are the most important thing in football, because if every player understands how to react and behave in certain moment, then you will have a very successful team. The first moment is, we call it the attack. So that means that our team has the ball, so we have the ball. The second moment is when we don't have the ball, so our opponent has the ball, and this is what we call defense. The third moment is the transition from attack to defense. That means that we just lost the ball, and it's very important that in the next 5 seconds we do something. And the fourth moment is the transition from defense to attack, which means that we just steal the ball, and the next 5 seconds are going to determine what are we going to do. The fifth moment are the set pieces, so the dead ball. Today I want to talk about one moment in particular, and that is defense. As you see here, we have positions. In defense, we know individual defense, which means that every player needs to know his job. We know the group defense, group tactical defense, which means that 4 defenders as a group, they need to know what to do, or 3 midfielders or 3 strikers as a group, they need to know what to do in defense. And we know team tactical defense, which means that the whole team is involved in it. What I want to talk today about is I've noticed when you play football in school that these mistakes are happening sometimes. So when it comes to team defense, you need to know that the team, as it is here, it forms like a block. And this block needs to move all the time together and as compact as possible. This is when the other team, the opponent, has the ball. So we are defending right now. What I've noticed is that a lot of strikers, midfielders and attackers are going forward, but then the defenders are staying at the back in the same line, which will cause a huge hole here in the middle. And this is not good because the hole means the space. And if the other team is coming into that space, they will have a lot of time on the ball and they can cause us some trouble. This is why this block needs to move together. When we are going forward, everybody needs to go forward and making sure there are no holes between our lines and our positions. The same thing happens if we go, for example, into high press. High press means that the other team has the ball here and we are trying to press them really high. So our strikers are gonna go really high. Okay? So our defenders need to follow. So the whole team needs to set up like this. No holes. If the ball comes on one side, because before we just spoke about the vertical movement, okay? Now I want to show you the horizontal movement. So if the ball comes on this side, that block, the whole block needs to move on the ball side. So for example, we have a left winger here. Okay? And if the ball is coming here, he should not stay on his side, because when we are defending, he needs to move in as well to make it as compact as possible around the ball. This is how we're gonna make our defense easier. This is gonna help us to win the ball of the opponent way easier. Not giving them so much space, making sure that everybody moves together. Like I said, horizontally and vertically. What I forgot before with vertically is I showed you how defenders are not moving forward when we are going up, but the same thing are happening when you play football is when you are under the pressure and when you are defending here, so the ball is somewhere here, our striker should not stay up and just wait for us to take the ball and pass to him. Because everybody needs to move together. So in this case, he needs to be the one going backwards and helping the team to win the ball. Okay. Now, this is just very short tip today about the team defense, how to move on the pitch, up and down and left and right, making sure that we are making space as small as possible for the other team, and this is gonna help us to win the ball of them easily. If you have any questions, I'm here for you. Just ask me, I will try to answer. All I need you to do is below in the comment, if you watch this video until the end, I want you to write in the comments your favorite football team. This is how I'm gonna know that you watched my video until the end. Just write your favorite football team and ask me questions if you have any, and that's it. Nothing else needs to be done. I hope this helped you a little bit. So next time we can go into some other areas of the football tactics. Stay home, stay safe, and stay healthy.